Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks, Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with the eloquent Charles A. January Jr., former trustee, alderman in the great city of North Chicago. And also, he's a former candidate for the mayor of the city of North Chicago. Greetings, Mr. January.
Dr. Brooks, I want to shake your hand over there because you're a wonderful man. Thank you, Dr. Brooks, for that great introduction.
Well, let's see. Lake County is approximately 750 to 850,000 people.
Okay.
North Chicago is approximately 32,574.
That's including the military. That's not accurate. Accurate statistics in North Chicago, I think there's like almost 17,000 actual residents of North Chicago. That's
Okay.
with the influx of the military that we got to 32,000 people.
That's the reason we have you on the program. You're a great resource person.
I look it up, Dr. Brooks, and I got to appreciate city information, but Dr. Brooks, we're hurting. Our town is, the average income in North Chicago is not $21,000. And our salaries in North Chicago for our people that are, and there are some wonderful employees, they're not commensurate to what our money is.
Well, first of all, tell us about Charles January. Who is Charles January? Because people have known you, and you came pretty close to winning the last time for mayor.
First time, yes, sir.
The first time.
Second time I was kicked off the ballot.
Oh,
that was my
okay,
fault.
Okay. But
Well, that's politics. That's how they do it.
okay, but tell us about January for the people that don't know
For the
you.
people that don't know me, Charles January, I was born and raised in Zion, Illinois. I started in Zion.
Okay.
Lived with my grandparents, the Dunklins in Waukegan. My grandfather was James Dunklin, the
Oh, yes.
insurance man. And moved to North Chicago when I was 11, went to Neo Junior High School, North Chicago Community High School, College of Lake County, and off to a 4-year institution. Married, have no children, wife Kathy January, who's a registered nurse, and who's the current alderman of the 7th Ward.
Okay.
For people that don't know me, you'll find that don't like to say outspoken. I just try to tell it like it is. And I was brought up with 7 tenets because I've been in martial arts since a very young age. I was brought up with the 7 tenets, which are courtesy, integrity, perseverance, self-control, indomitable spirit, truth, and love. And Dr. Brooks, I must say, and I want to commend you for everything you've done for our community to keep us informed. You and Daisy Brooks have resourced and just put a lot of people, educated folks, and I'm proud of you for that. And if you don't get the
Why
credit,
are you so misunderstood?
well, it's not misunderstood. I'm just enlightened, Dr. Brooks. When you put up, I have to say this to the North Chicago and to the local Waukegan, North Chicago residents. If you've never been anywhere, you're like a minnow in a fishbowl. But if the fishbowl is an ocean, there's not a place I haven't been in the United States, at least 6 times. So I don't have visions of a tadpole or a minnow. I've been out where the whales are. Now, I'm not a whale, but I've been out where they are. And North Chicago, for the resources of a lake and a lakefront community, we're in sad shape. And we have not poor leadership, we have no leadership. Dr. Brooks, we haven't had a strategic or comprehensive plan with the other entities, and I'm ashamed. We shouldn't have all these entities. We should have a city, a park district under city, and a school district under the city. But when you get a poor neighborhood, what you get is you get all these infighting things, and then there's nothing that gets done. And who hurts for it? The children. Dr. Brooks, we have a swimming pool, and I'm ashamed to say this. We have a swimming pool with no water in it. Hasn't been water in it for years. I have a ex-student, she was my classmate, and I know she don't mind using her name, Susan Dixon, who was wonderful. And they jailed her for supposedly stealing toys because she was whistleblowing what the problems at the park district were. And I can only tell you, I'm ashamed, I'm bewildered, I want North Chicago to strive, but we need a new vision, we need a new everything. We need everything new, and we need to be nonpartisan.
Where there's no vision, people perish.
Not only do they perish, they don't. There's no jobs in North. Name me outside of Abbott AbbVie, which now 2% of our people are employed in. What are we doing? There's no jobs for the people. I tried to bring jobs to North Chicago. I tried to bring industry to North Chicago. But when they go to a city and they see what the demographics are of North Chicago, and they see our crime's high, our education's not high, we can't win. All I want North Chicago to do is win.
Yeah, we have the Great Lakes Naval Base, but a great number of employees are from Wisconsin.
Yes, sir. Not Illinois. And the jobs we do have, and I want to thank Goodwill for being there. Goodwill's a great organization. But what you have to understand, citizens of North Chicago and areas, I care about North Chicago. I care so much, I think we need a name change. I know I've been talking to a lot of citizens about that. Don't go changing my name. I represented you, and our name is terrible. Not that I want it to be terrible. It's called the no-go city. Our crime is ridden, our police officers. It's just a barrage of things that are going on, Dr. Brooks, that just should not be going on. To one city south of us, Lake Bluff, we're like night and day. That shouldn't be. But when you have we need term limits in North Chicago. We need 2 or 3 terms and get out of office. Let somebody else have a term. We don't need perpetual, and I know people don't, even a county board don't like that. They want to be there 40, 50, 60 years if they can. And it's not because they know it all. They just been there and they don't want to give up what little power they do have.
And we need new vision.
No vision. Not new vision, Dr. Brooks, no vision. We got a brand new, larger jail system.
Okay.
We got stuff that we don't need. We need to put people back to work. We need a recidivism program for the people that have been in there. Recidivism means they're perpetually going in and out of the jail. That's what we need. I used to work there. And I must tell you, you see the same people all the time. They get out of trouble and they get back in trouble. And so all I can say to you, citizens, is that we need your participation. When you participate, everybody wins. But when you don't vote, last election, we had less than 1,500 votes. That's not 1% of the population that's supposed to be there. We had we around 8,000 registered voters in North Chicago. But they don't come out and vote. They don't see a necessity for it.
I made a statement, and you clarified it too, about 30% renter occupied. Is that a reason why
No.
the voting is so low? People don't care.
I gotta say this to you, and residents, I don't want to be offensive, but this is the only way I know. The residents that we do have there, the 70% that are owner occupied, they're seniors. They're people that couldn't pick up today and move somewhere else because of what it would cost for them to move. So they're kind of stuck. But if we keep raising the taxes and not having opportunities for people in the community, crime is going to go up. It's not going to go down. There's no plan by the Park District, the city, and the school to do anything but stay separate and not focus on the children. I'm 55 years old. I'll be 56 in November. I taught martial arts for several years at the Park District, back 35 years ago, and back. I came back and I did it for almost a year and a half, and I was just demonstratized as to what's going on in North Chicago.
That's a vision that I keep mentioning, because if you had these districts working together, then you would have probably less taxes to pay. Right?
Oh yes, but see,
because each one of those districts represent
money, taxes,
yeah,
up to whatever percent to school, and we're still state controlled. We should be home rule controlled. But look at the mayor. Look at the. Not that I'm a complaint about it, but the mayor had a lot to do with who's on that board.
Okay.
His cousin is on the board. Alexander is on the board. She's a nice lady. But we got a board, to me, that they're not picked by the city. They're picked by the powers that be with the mayor's approval. That's why we have what we have. We have a park district. They have, I don't know what they have. They have buildings, and it's costing our district a lot of money. We need to work together a plan. They do have a strategic plan. I don't agree with it, but they do have one. I don't believe that we should be building apartment complexes or competing with other entities. For instance, we have a fish fry. Well, fish fry is wonderful, Dr. Brooks. But when you have businesses, bars or restaurants in North Chicago competing, the Park District's mission and vision is supposed to be to facilitate activities for seniors, activities for kids. Park District functions as a Park District. They're supposed to be a leisure, come to, and things. What do we have? We have a Park District that has a golf course that's probably was one of the best golf courses up on the North Shore.
Yeah.
But our golf district is in trouble financially. It just is. We've got a swimming pool with no water in it. That's a fact. They want to pull it up and put a splash pad. We got the United States Navy, and you mean to tell me all we can do is a splash pad? Citizens, there's something wrong with that. We need to fix that. And when you have a community that's poor, I learned how to swim at age 5 years old. You could throw me in any pool in the ocean and I can swim. 90% of North Chicago kids can't swim. And we're home to the United States Navy? That makes no sense.
In here, we mentioned about the resources in the city of North Chicago. Location is a great factor.
Factor,
right by the lake.
Right by the lake.
And when you mentioned about the water.
Water's our main, that's our mainstay.
But is there any other avenue of collecting money than water, taxing the citizens?
This is taxing. Well, when you, again, not that I'm complaining, but when you have individuals in politics with if we don't have it, just make the citizens pay for it. That's their motto.
Okay.
And the average income in North Chicago for the employees is over $60,000. Your average resident is not making $21,000. That's a big difference.
You got locally Abbott Laboratory, you got AbbVie, you got the Captain James A. Lovell Federal Health Care Center, no more VA.
We're not 3% in any of those industries.
Okay. Rosalind Franklin University, of course, we mentioned the Great Lakes Naval Base, and the only training center for men and women
is the United States Navy.
In the world.
And Dr. Brooks, I'm going to harp on this. The richest street in our state is Buckley Road, every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Okay.
And we have nothing for the Navy to go to. A while ago, it was told to me, and I haven't been able to get my hands on the article, but North Chicago, the mayor was offered, the Navy offered him Lewis and Buckley Road back and the housing complex, and he had the audacity to say that he doesn't want people with PTSD in those buildings.
The housing complex, that's Halsey Village.
Halsey Village, yes,
and
the latter part
and
on
Nimitz
Nimitz,
Village
yes.
and so forth.
There, we have more than 400 homes vacant, but we have 2,500 homeless veterans.
Okay.
That makes no sense. If we need industry, and I've been harping on this, what we need to do is ask the Navy for that land back or do a co-op. Let's bring a H-E-B Foods here. Let's bring which is equivalent to Walmart. Let's bring a Starbucks coffee. Let's bring a bowling alley. If they look at the demographics going up and down that street, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we win. Pappadeaux Seafood. Let's look at things that we can bring into our community, and we all win.
There's opportunity, you're saying, for a grocery store.
There's an opportunity, but when you have a city council and a mayor, and now an economic development director that doesn't have a clue, that's the problem. You have to have resources to get to these folks. And I've done my homework. I can't share, but I'm telling you, it's not just for me. Jelly Belly, leaving.
Yeah.
110 plus years in the community, and they're going to leave.
Go to Wisconsin.
They're going to Wisconsin. Now they're leaving Wisconsin too. They need cheaper labor. But the employees they have down there at the Jelly Belly plant in North Chicago come from Wisconsin. They don't even live here.
Okay.
We have other industries here that I don't want to talk about because I can't say things favorably. But I would like to see, if you go to YouTube and put my Charles Allen January Jr., I made a presentation. It's not the best presentation because I got angry at a couple of the aldermen, one in particular, and you'll see on the tape, and I'm not apologizing for that because he told me I had to bring it to a committee. But what do we have in North Chicago for you to go to work? Waste is money, Dr. Brooks. Everything that we have resourcefully, we can make money with. But when you have a city and city fathers with no vision, okay, we have the mayor has been just promising something. Now this will be his fourth term. What accomplishment has he? What has he brought here? He'll tell you that he's brought something. He's brought nothing here. And I don't really want to harp on the fire police district, but we owe our fire police pension fund almost $100 million. That makes no sense, North Chicago.
Why do they keep borrowing money from the fire and pension
Well, they don't
fund?
pay into it because we don't have the money, Dr. Brooks. Let's tell the truth. But we'll pay you police officers and firemen millions of dollars in overtime. And I'm not punishing the police department, but we got a new chief of police, no mission statement, no strategic plan, no comprehensive plan for spring, summer, fall. Luckily, the crime hasn't gone up. We don't have shootings every day. We have shootings some days, though. Yes, we do. And unfortunately, when you have children and a community that's not embracing those children, they're going to act out. They have nothing to do.
So you mentioned that the police department don't have a strategic plan, but should it start from the top? If the city don't have a
you got to
strategic plan,
yeah, you
then
need
the
everybody.
department heads,
But you got to
not gonna think it's
understand
important.
your police, especially your police department, they pretty much have the communities that service us. They have what's in the best interest of the city, usually. But our police officers come to North Chicago, they're making a lot of money. I think less than 1% of them live here. So when you have outside people that make more money, and they don't spend their money in North Chicago because there's nowhere to spend it.
Okay.
So we're not getting any return on investment. There's nobody in our city, and I keep harping on this, there's nobody in our city that should be making $100,000 in North Chicago. I'm sorry. Oops. No. There was a formula given to me when I was in National Leagues, and I want to thank Leon Rockingham because without him I wasn't able to go to National Leagues. But there's a formula. Take the number of citizens you have, let's round it up to 33,000, and you times 3 and take 20,000. Our mayor should make between $79,000 and $99,000. With benefits, maybe 110. The chief of police should be right under that. The fire chief should be under that. Our city, the highest paid employee is our fire chief.
But you're taxing people that you just mentioned that
sir.
don't have the income.
They don't have the income.
So you keep raising their taxes.
Correct. And so what eventually do they have to do, Dr. Brooks? They have to move out. Because
Okay,
they no
and they're
longer
doing
can-
that too.
And they're doing
The
that.
young people are doing that. The young
yes, sir.
people. So
That
you
they
got left
can.
with the seniors.
And the seniors that can't afford it, what do? They get a freeze on their taxes, but everything else around them is going up and nowhere to spend the money and no grocery store and no things that's bringing revenue into the city. What can we do? When your citizens and your city looks like it's doing more things collectively than the people that they're supposed to be taking care of, we're in trouble. And what we have is this alderman just voted down 3 new squad cars. Those police in North Chicago are tearing our cars up. There's no accountability. At least when Betty Thomas was mayor, there was an accountability thing. But now there's no accountability. The richest area in North Chicago is where our current mayor lives. That's the nicest ward. That's the 4th ward. Let's tell the truth. Look at the 1st ward. where Fisher's the alderman. That's one of the terriblest wards in the town. It's terrible.
And they still, I think at the last meeting, they voted a beer and wine
More liquor.
license.
Yes,
More
sir.
liquor.
We got to have more liquor. Yes. Not that I'm against liquor, but we need to stop. We need a moratorium. We need a moratorium on the gaming centers. We don't need any more gaming centers in North Chicago. It's just what you got to realize is our streets look bad. Our departments and our employees are making much more than the average citizen in North Chicago. I think we have less than 250 employees. With 250 employees, we don't need a human resource director, citizens in North Chicago. We need a manager. We don't need a full-time manager. We need a full-time, maybe 2 or 3 clerks. But we don't need a full-time. We don't need a comptroller in our city. Over $100,000. That's $200,000. And like I said, our highest paid employee, you can look it up on our website for the city of North Chicago, is our fire chief, whose name should be on there, but it's not. They don't want you to know. And I can tell you, she makes $149,000 a year.
What?
$149,000 a year. Dr. Brooks, we in trouble. And I agree, she's done some wonderful things by bringing us in fire trucks and stuff. But when you have citizens and a city that can't pay for it, what are we doing? And Dr. Brooks, I want to thank the fire department because I almost lost my life. I made a turn on Buckley Road and my car got smashed. But when I got my bill for that, and insurance paid for it, it was $1,200 for a trip from the ambulance to the thing. Now, I've been talking to citizens, and they're like, why is the rate so high? Do you aldermen have any control of that? No. The fire department has a control of that. They use what's called Waukegan and North Chicago. It's the same as far as that goes. Anytime you take an ambulance, you're going to pay anywhere between $750 and $2,000 for an ambulance ride. Not that it's not necessary, but there should be some balance there. And I must tell you, I don't know what rate the city gets from that. If there's all revenue goes to the city, I don't know. I have to investigate that further. But North Chicago, we're in trouble, and I hate to be the one that sounds the alarm. If you don't pay attention and start looking at these politicians, they're not doing anything. And collectively, we're getting nothing accomplished. We're spinning our wheels and they're spending our money.
Well, what do we need? You had inspiration. You still have inspiration to be the head of the city, right? So what
yes.
plans do you have if you have the same city council?
Oh, I'm
to make
praying
changes?
that I wouldn't. I'm praying that I can find, like this last time I ran with a group, and I ran Terry Harris in the first ward, and he didn't win. He came close, but he didn't win. I had third ward candidate who was kicked off the ballot. And she shouldn't have been kicked off the ballot. She did everything right, but her attorney couldn't represent her correctly on the right day, and she was kicked off the ballot. I withdrew from the ballot because I took it upon myself to go to the city, which I'll never do again, to get my petition turned in. And the guy that did, I took him to task for it, but it's not taking him to task. It would be taking the city to task. And I'm just not willing to do that. I don't want to sue the city. This is a place I love. And we've had police officers sue the city. We've had employees sue the city. Not because they want to, because they have to. And it's just sad. And it's really sad to see that we got a mayor sitting up there I'm just going to speak on this. If there is a police officer that does something he's not supposed to do for a citizen, that costs us over $300,000 deductible to pay before we can get him represented. That's a shame. And when our police officers, which we just let few go, when they get gone from here, we should commission them so they can't take their bad habits to another department. That's sad. And I don't understand why, and I did say that to the chief, is, oh, you can't do that. There's rules. It's our city. See, my problem is, and I can't blame it on the union. I can only blame it on the mayor because he's the leader. Who's negotiating all these contracts? Mm-hmm. We should not have clerks at $80,000 with high school diplomas in North Chicago.
Clerks at $80,000.
Correct. Not with the city that we have. No. We need a lot of part-time folks learning the positions. But again, we have a mayor, and it's the way it is. We have the police and fire board. We have a police and fire board commissioner, Dr. Waddell Brooks, that said he's going to gentrify the town. And I had city council members vote for him. Oh, well, Charles is only one more year. Wow. Are you kidding me? He shouldn't be on the police and fire board. And they all get paid. They didn't get run for office. They got appointed by the mayor. And the city council didn't do anything about their salaries. They get paid and they get benefits. Police and fire board, I guess that's getting paid. The library board, they don't get paid on the library board. The planning and zoning board, they get paid. They make more or as much as an alderman. That's not right. Citizens in North Chicago should be voluntary, or at least half. They didn't run for office. And they get benefits like an alderman. That's just not right. It's not right.
You know, at your city council meetings, you have very few citizens come out to find out what is going on within the administration.
Dr. Brooks, and that's sad. And I want to appeal to the citizens and say, we need your participation. We need more citizens' participation. It's your city. It's not the mayor's city. And Dr. Brooks, I keep making this statement. I'm going to keep making the statement. What we have is mayor first, staff second, alderman third, and citizens last. What we should have, citizens first, alderman second, mayor third, and staff last. That's what we should have.
But the citizens only allowed 3 minutes to speak at the council meeting.
Back when, after I was an alderman, the mayor was able to change that with his group that's in power.
To 3 minutes.
To 3 minutes.
It was 5.
And then he chooses who speaks longer than that, as you see. And that's not right. But again, and don't want to take the city to court and pay money for him to make it fair. That's just not going to happen. And what we have is a dereliction of duty because he don't know. And that Genesis car that he went and purchased, that's a shame.
Yeah, the newspaper put that on. That's on the front page of the paper.
Front page of the paper.
Because they know it was wrong.
But and not only is it wrong, Dr. Brooks, there was a 4-3 vote. That takes a 5. It was 4-3.
So it was done illegally.
It's done illegally. But I don't have it. He's driving around the car saying he's taking dignitaries. What dignitary is going to drive around the car in that kind of car in the shape that North Chicago's in? I'd be ashamed to show the city in its current. I can show you vision, but I can't tell you how disappointed, not just as a former alderman, as a resident still of North Chicago, and all I get is, you just jealous because you're not the mayor. No, if he's doing something good, I'm going to say he's doing something good. What is he doing that's good? He promised 2 African-American contractors that their contract would be good for the housing thing on 14th Street.
Tell us about the housing on 14th Street. That's a county project.
It was.
Right?
It's privatized now, so we can't get new information on it. But what happened is the county actually borrowed from itself to make things happen. They slowed things down. Now they're getting ready to let folks in that for some of the housing that's available, and hopefully it'll get full. But it's just the wrong way of doing things. And, you know, I wasn't for it to be tore down the way it was. That's brick. You just take the brick out and refix the interior and win.
They were saying it's going to cost more to fix the interior than it was to build.
Between 12 and 15 million, not 52 million. So there is a big difference. But let's understand what they did. They messed up our aid to the kids because that impact aid dependent on the
Yeah.
number of people we have.
Right.
So, and our current governor has talked about, and we've got money from other sources to cut our funding. And cost benefit analysis. If it's not fixed, you take money away. That's like our city, cost benefit analysis. What's going on? Economic Development Director, what have you brought into us? What are you doing? I haven't seen him make one report. He's brought a couple things that were going to come, irregardless of whether he's there or not. But we're paying $100,000 salary for that. Doesn't make sense. We need to make sense. We need to have individuals that come to the city, bring us something, then we can give you something. To me, why do we pay a guy over $100,000 and he has no budget to do anything with? That doesn't make sense.
This has been brought up on the city council meeting several times. I know Alderman Bobby Allen, I guess he's the head of that committee,
Yes, sir.
has brought it up about the salary. And I think at the next meeting, he's asking the community
Community Development Director.
to come in and explain
what he's doing, but he'll
Yeah.
get up there and give
Now,
him
this
stuff.
has been done 5 or 6 times,
Yes,
5 or
sir.
6 different
Right.
community developers.
But again, we have 3 aldermen that are on the mayor's side 100% of the time, and 3 other aldermen that really think for themselves, and the alderman that's in the middle.
But all the aldermen should be concerned about the growth of North Chicago,
They're not
the
concerned.
infrastructure. Right?
They're concerned what the mayor says, and that's what they vote for.
But when the people vote for them, this is a representative government,
But again, Dr. Brooks,
right?
you have
They represent the people,
you have 2
and
of
not
those
the people
aldermen.
represent them.
You got 2 of the aldermen that are on there that represent themselves, and they've been there for more than 5 terms.
Oh my
That's
goodness!
20 years.
Wow.
Okay, so you're not going to change anything that they want to do. They're going to do what they want to do, and that's why I tried my best to get them out of there. Just didn't have enough oomph to do it.
And the next election we're about halfway through now. Is that right? Got
Yes,
two
sir.
2 more years.
And it's unfortunate. Look at our city. Look what shape it's in. Look at Sheridan Road, North Chicago. It's sad.
Well, you mentioned that not only Sheridan Road, I just got road repair. Look at the 14th Street, the street that's been dedicated to Arthur Nixon, Boulevard.
Yes, sir.
And I guess the repair work won't start until 2019.
Next year. But the thing about
If it
this,
starts
that's
then.
that's planned money by the county.
Okay.
That's a county street. We manage the street. That's owned by Lake County.
Okay.
We lost, citizens, so you know. Lewis Avenue doesn't belong to North Chicago anymore. That's County Street.
What about Lewis Avenue now? That's some work
See how
done
nice
on
it
that.
is?
Yeah. Is that county also?
That's county. Lewis Avenue is county. Argonne Drive is county. Martin Luther King is county. And 14th Street is county.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, sir. And it's been told to me that our whole city needs new plumbing. The pipes under the streets. I mean, we need to bring heavy revenue here. Okay, people say, well, Charles, you keep talking. Well, what have you done? I would have contacted, which I did contact, FIFA and different groups to bring an outdoor retractable roof soccer stadium here. That's going to bring us some money. We got to think world class. But again, they don't want the shadow government that's behind Rockingham does not want to see North Chicago aspire. Because if it does, that means we get to stay here. And it's called gentrification. I'm just going to tell you what it
Are
is.
there efforts you believe to
Get us out of here.
get people
Off the Lake Michigan.
because of prime property?
Prime real estate property. Beautiful lake. What do we got?
You have been doing some research, and
Yes, sir.
you know a lot of influential people.
A lot of
and so
influential
forth.
people, not just because of me, but I know a lot of folks. And because of my martial arts, I know a lot of people. I'm a 7th degree black belt in World Taekwondo. You can look me up. And that's what it is.
I think community participation would be a great asset.
Community, as I spoke to you, Dr. Brooks, in several other meetings that I've had with you, if I could, we the citizens in North Chicago, with 8,000 registered voters, 8,100, let's say, if 5,000 of that 8,000 got up and voted, that would make a difference. because not only our city aldermen and our mayor would pay attention, our state reps would pay attention,
Okay.
because we have two. Our congressmen would pay attention. Everybody would pay attention, and we would get more participation. But when you don't have that, and you have for a sound like Waukegan, I think Waukegan got less than 5,000 votes the last election for mayor. So again,
Okay.
they got over 100,000 folks in Waukegan. I forget the number of registered voters. I had the number, but don't remember it off the top of my head. But when you have local representative politicians that have been in office for more than 3 terms, we the people lose. We need term limits. I'm sorry, and I'm saying that, but that's the truth. We don't need individuals in there more than 3 terms. We should have 3 terms limit, and then you have to sit out a term, and if you want to come back, okay, you can come back. But this perpetualness, no newness, and some of the county board, I won't even go there. That is just awful. It's just awful, Dr. Brooks. But I am glad to see Angelo did weather the storm, and he got back his county seat. And he has been there more than 4 terms. He has. But on the county board, I would rather have someone seasoned there that knows that someone that's not seasoned that don't know. And that's what happened.
We had a young man, Vance Wyatt, young, enthusiastic, educated, ready to go. As a matter of fact, he's doing a great job now of being appointed by the 21 members. I guess the 20 members of the board appointed him, and he's doing it. But the people didn't want him.
No. Well, I'm going to say to you, and I love Vance like a younger.
So there we
being
go.
a
We're
big
back
brother.
in the same.
Yeah, but
rut.
you got to the thing that you have to realize, Dr. Brooks, when you have a Angelo Kyle, who was president of NACO, National Associations of County Board, you don't let that go easy. So I've got a quandary.
Well, what is that doing for this county?
It does it because he's got he can make phone calls, and with cities that are doing something, he can call, and that with National League of City Citizens and other organizations, Mayor's Council, all these intricate things. And then when big industry or a philanthropist person has a lot of money says, I could do a project there, a micro project, and see how it works. Like for instance, Dr. Brooks, we have that land that Fan still used to be on that we keep talking about that's going to have a museum.
Okay.
There's no museum coming there. They got beautiful signs.
Okay.
They got to raise $80 million.
Yeah.
If you got $1 million, would you spend $1 million there? No. But what you could do is clean up the land, get some companies we rototill it and we put the seeds in there. We put soybeans in there and we draw those toxins out. Can't eat those soybeans, but if you do that for several years, now you're cleaning up the land. I've done research on that. Then once you clean up the land, you can, hydroponics is, we get these hydroponic trailers and we put vegetables or stuff that grows in those hydroponic things, and we create an industry. We've got towns north of us that have fish ponds, all kinds of things. There's things we can do to put North Chicagoans back to work. I want to commend Betty Harris. I don't usually do this, but she's a wonderful
She
citizen.
works very hard.
She
in
works-
trying to. She's a visionary,
She wants to do things.
but they
for the
don't want
children. Oh, they don't
visionaries. And
And she goes out of her way. She's a substitute teacher in our district.
Yeah.
And she goes out of her way to make sure the kids are getting a quality education. And I must say to you, education is a part of the key. Education is not the key. Education and experience. Action. You know the difference between champ and chump? Action. CHAMP. A, action. U, CHUMP, chump. So I must tell you, the difference that you want to understand is we need more individuals not just praying, taking action. Action, positive action for a community. That's what's important. Not, well, we're going to pray about it. And prayer does things, but when you have individuals that are especially in our elected offices, they need to have
me.
action. They need to have a plan, and they need to have an alternative plan, not just a plan, an
Okay.
alternative plan. So I just want to tell you, North Chicago, we need more than prayer. We need office holders that are taking action. We need what's our biggest problem right now is water. That's our biggest commodity. We're not selling it to anybody. And the report that you sat at, we have sediment and stuff in the pipes and holes in the pipes.
Yeah.
That the mayor should be arrested for that. That's our biggest commodity. And he's been neglecting it. And then we have a guy that retired and no SOPs, standard operating procedures. He had him in his brain, so we retired him, and we had to bring him back to give us the stuff on paper. He should be fired. Oh, our director of public works should be fired. He should have sounded the alarm and said, hey, it's not here, city council. But what did they do? And then Alderman Allen, he brought it up. He was like, why is he back? Well, we did it under $10,000. So you really don't have any control of it because it's not $10,000 or more, so we didn't have to bring it to city council. We're giving them retirement pay and more pay. No standing operating procedures. All the stuff was in his head, how to run the plant. That's a shame.
North Chicago, and we spending a lot of time on North Chicago because it's only, what you mentioned, 17,000 people.
Less than 17,000
The 32,574 that you see on the sign as you drive into North Chicago
not what our
includes Great Lakes.
Yes, sir.
And Great Lakes do not vote.
They can. I'm from Great
But
Lakes.
they
Majority
well, I
of them
mean the
don't
military
vote.
people.
No, they don't vote. Right.
They're accounted. but
Housing,
they
they don't vote. But I must say,
They vote in their own hometowns. That's what
no,
they're not.
they voted in North Chicago.
not local.
They voted in North Chicago. I'm an alderman from the 7th Ward. That's in North Chicago. I got voted for.
When
didn't get
I
very
say
many
vote, I
votes.
mean the greatest number.
No, the greatest
You
number
know,
should be from there.
How many thousand people?
There should be from there. But Dr. Brooks, what you have to understand is, and we need to take that power away from the mayor. And I want to talk about it a little bit. City Council, my wife had the number of petitions. She put Great Lakes, North Chicago. You could pull her petition. She was kicked off the ballot because the mayor and his person that he wanted to run, Paula Carbolito, I don't mind saying her name, she ran for public office as a write-in. My wife still beat her. So all I can say to you is,
The total number of votes in that
I think it was
ward.
like 4 votes that voted, and I was one of them. I didn't vote for Paula, and Kathy got back in there.
4 or 5 write-ins.
Write-ins.
These are all write-ins.
To people somebody that was on the ballot. And I want to thank Mayor Rockingham because he endorsed Paula and put out this thing for her,
Oh, okay.
and she didn't win,
Spent all that money, and still didn't win.
and still didn't win.
It couldn't get just write-ins.
Write-ins.
Well, that showed the people out there in the Navy.
the ones that did
Didn't-
care, they voted.
Okay.
And that's sad. That's sad. But if you look at the alternative, the first ward has over 4,000, not 4,000, about 1,050 something eligible to vote,
Okay.
and there was less than 80 that voted in that ward, first ward. Had a candidate in the first ward, but the mayor be able to kick us. He's got his people on the board. That should be a citizens board, not the mayor's board. The mayor, the city clerk, and the senior alderman are
That's the board.
the elections board.
Okay.
So and they had to take Fisher off, and he wasn't able. He objected. He challenged Terry Harris's petition. He wasn't able to get Terry Harris off, and I put that petition out. By the way, I did. I really wanted Fisher off the board. Fisher's out of touch, and I usually don't go after aldermen, but we need to do something different.
It's such a great opportunity in this city, and I have to repeat.
Yes, sir.
Location, right by the water. We got the water tank that's been. We can't get even Great Lakes to buy water from us. And
I hope they
we-
don't, Dr. Brooks. I'm continually against that. Please, not their water. When you don't have a full-time microchemist, biologist,
Okay.
we have a chemist. We don't have a microchemist or biologist down there right
Okay.
now. I want that water. I don't care about these high wage salaries. We need that. That's important. Drinking water, what you bathe in, that's important. So we need a microbiologist. We don't have a microbiologist down
But
there
why don't we?
because we don't have the money. So we'd rather pay salaries to economic development directors
Okay.
than having a person that's a microbiologist down there. But see, when you have a microbiologist, what happens is if they find a problem, you have to fix it right away instead of
Okay.
taking it and sending it off somewhere and
Yeah.
being a study. Everything's a study.
Right.
Like here's in the near future, oh, they just passed the water. They're going to raise your water rate.
Yeah.
Yes, that's not right. Based on let's lower some salaries.
And no objections from the people, I could say, within the city. My alderman objected to it, and maybe there's a couple of other aldermen too. But the people unaware of just what's going on.
Yeah. Until they get the bill and it's too late.
Right, right. Okay, I named that, and we got Abbott Laboratory, we got ADB, and we got Captain James A. Lovell Federal Health Care Center there, and the huge people know as, the Veterans Administration used to be there. Now it's James A. Lovell. Rosalind Franklin University, there's a great opportunity there.
But how, Dr. Brooks, I have to say this, and the city has all the power to do something about it because we paid a library director and a library staff.
Okay,
They can't use our library as a university because we don't have qualified reference librarians.
oh my goodness.
You have to have a library science degree
Yeah,
to be in reference. We don't have that in North Chicago.
our librarian is not,
Certified
Cer-
and not a master's degree in library science. No, sir. Nice lady, but no.
we have many problems.
Many problems. And she's a nice lady.
yeah.
I have to say that. But our periodicals are not up to date. Standards are not there. Why do we have a library open at 9 o'clock in the morning to roughly 5, 6 o'clock in the evening? And 60% of the kids, school-age students, don't get out of school in the school year till 3 o'clock. So we should have 3 to 11, or 3 to 9, or 12 to 8. That's going to and get up our periodicals up to date, or call these companies that have Kindle Fires, millions of them, and
Do you
get
go
them
to
to do
the
donations.
library meetings?
I used to go to library meetings all the time. It just upset me to what they want to do and build another library, but we need to take care of what we have right now.
Okay.
And Dr. Brooks, I'm ashamed that in our public library, we have a sound studio.
Okay,
That makes no sense.
okay,
Our chief librarian is the Secretary of State, Jesse White.
yeah.
And he walked in and walked out, and I said something to him, and he just looked at me. And I could tell that that's not the best way to use money. I don't care who paid for it. If you want to do something, let's pay for tutors. They did a computer lab. That's nice. We need more of that. I would, instead of seeing a sound library in there, I would love to see a coding program,
Okay.
teaching them how to do coding, which is important.
Yeah.
That's the future. And things that are going to be proactive children, then there's lots of stuff that I can talk about, Dr. Brooks. I could keep you here all night.
And one other, of course, the great one, the Great Lakes Naval Base, the only naval training center in the world.
In the world.
Men
We're interested,
are-
and Dr. Brooks and citizens, I've been talking to you. I came up with 3 unique names, and I think we can come with some more. We need to look at changing the name of North Chicago. Let's call it Anchor City, Illinois, home of the United States Navy. Let's call it Anchor Lake, Illinois, home of the United States Navy. Let's call it Quarterdeck, Illinois, home of the United States Navy. Why, citizens of North Chicago? Because we're part of the Navy. Whether we are a military community. We should utilize what we have. Dr. Brooks, it also brings me up to, I was told, and I never got my hands on it because it's hush-hush. I guess the mayor signed a memorandum. E3, that's the lowest level of seaman, then seaman recruit, and seaman apprentice, and then seaman. So seaman recruit, seaman apprentice, seaman. Until they're seaman, the first 3, they're supposed to be 3rd class or higher to come into North Chicago.
Oh,
They have hundreds of dollars, but they can't spend their money here because they're told it's so bad. I want to change that image with
that's
the
been
base.
happening for a long time.
Long
yeah.
time. But Dr. Brooks, we're not a moment. They passed Right Buzz to spend $20 million in Gurnee.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. The cab services don't, and I do, and people say to me all the time, and I want to appreciate you citizens out there, I love Uber Lyft. That tells you I have a clean record. Uber Lyft, I can talk to people. I meet citizens from Waukegan, North Chicago, especially North Chicago, who's being underserved. And I got some people complaining, especially in the Strawberry Complex area, and Mayor Rockingham needs to fix this with Uber. You have to be Uber Select to get, so they can't get a cheap ride with Uber. So I got my neighbors in Lake Bluff, Lake Forest, Highland Park to drive a luxury car into North Chicago, pick our sailors up and take them to the Great Lake, to the Navy, to Gurnee Mills, and it roughly is between $28 and $40. When it's a ride with me as an Uber X, costs maybe $12 to go to Gurnee Mills. So I must tell you, we need more activities and entertainment in North Chicago. North Chicago.
So we're getting to near the end of our program now, and I'd like to find out from Charles Allen, January Jr.
Yes, sir.
How would you change things in North Chicago?
Well, the first thing
I know as an individual, you got the mayor and you got the city council.
you have to have at least 4 aldermen that have vision. I'm looking to recruit and help any individual, and they're not like the mayor keeps saying, his alderman. You're not his alderman. You're the people's alderman.
Yeah.
People put him there. But right now it is his alderman because he has 3 of them. He only needs 1 to vasculate close to him, and he can pretty much do what he wants. What I'm looking for is an alderman for the 1st ward, alderman for the 3rd ward, alderman for the 5th ward, alderman for the 7th ward.
That's the next election.
That's the next 11, and the mayor.
2 years from
They
now.
run. Those 4 plus the mayor would control the city, and hopefully they have vision and what they want to do. But see, what they want to do is, Dr. Brooks and citizens of the community, Waukegan's the same way. There is no procedures, manuals, and stuff. So when you get there as a junior alderman, you don't have a clue because you're being taught parliamentary procedures and Robert's Rules of Order and what constitute a quorum. And then, like Fisher said, one of the aldermen did his homework, and Fisher got out and said, I'm going to be checking with the state's attorney's office to make sure the Open Meetings Act wasn't violated. You need to do your homework as an alderman.
Okay.
But what happens is he's got blindfolders on that says if the mayor didn't do it, I'm not doing it. Only thing that Alderman Fisher cares about is his crossing guards. And Dr. Brooks, when I got crossing guards making over $40 an hour, I don't care how many hours they work. That's crazy, ludicrous. We need more crossing guards at less pay than this few select we got at the pay that they're making. And I happen to like some of the crossing guards. One of my favorites is Vance. He's out there on Van was his name. He's out on
Blanchard.
Van Blanchard. Love that man. We need to give him a plaque. He's always smiling, always articulate, always helping the kids, always telling them what to do. Put your pants up, act right, stuff. We need more role models like him.
What do you do for leisure time activities?
Dr. Brooks, I go to martial arts tournaments. I volunteer on North Shore. I do a couple things. I'm going to do Taekwondo more actively in Northbrook coming up. I would love to do it in North Chicago, but when I see a park district and a city that's not working together, nothing for the children and the things we got for the children, we need to be, and I have to tell you this, citizens, we need to be AAU certified with every program we have in North Chicago. Why? That's an automatic background check. That's D rating, C rating, B rating, and A rating for coaching. They have every tape and everything on football, basketball, baseball, soccer, you name it. They have all the things, and they should be at the park district level, so when the kid gets to junior high school, he's acclimated in the real part, not just getting up, hitting the ball, or or going for a pass in football. And we've had some talented kids out of North Chicago. But the next step for our Park District is all AAU programs. And I'm speaking about this, citizens, because I went to the Park District and they didn't listen. So when you put an application in and you're AAU affiliated, it's like $19 a person a year annually. And then the coaches are certified coaches. Not just a coach that you say he know how to play basketball. And if he don't have the skills, he don't move to the B level or the A level. And A-level coaches have to get paid. So that's important. So that's all I wanted to say to you. And I just think that as a wrap-up, citizens of North Chicago, what you have to realize is when you don't know and you know that you don't know, we're all in trouble. We can fix this. We really can. So,
Well, we speak about the Park District. What about the education of our, I know it's in the school system, we don't even have, African American Studies program at the school.
Dr. Brooks, I didn't want to go into that, but I believe that we need a home rule school board. We need school board individuals with educated people in North Chicago that are from North Chicago
Okay.
that get appointed by a committee or the mayor. And if they do their job and a superintendent, we don't need a superintendent and 4 assistant superintendents.
Okay.
We need a superintendent and we need principals that take the role as assistant superintendents because they're in charge of their schools.
Okay.
We need a support person, facilitator, that facilitates the schools. But these other salaries, that's unheard of. No
Now,
other poor district do we have that like this.
We're just asking for your opinion because we know that the mayor does not control the taxing body of the school
That's
district.
why we need to be, the school and the park should be under the city.
Okay.
Like, that's the one thing I have to say for Chicago, because it's large.
Okay.
The mayor picks the superintendent.
Ah.
He gets approved by the city council. He don't do his job, he's out. Not that I want to be picking to the chin, but I would find a community of PhDs that know education, that know the articulation of where he should be in a district like ours. Parents, we need more school time. We need 6:30 in the morning, breakfast for the kids in the classroom to 6:30 at night, 6 to 6. Continual learning. After school, before school, after school. We need to bring music theory to North Chicago. We need debate teams. We had this stuff when I was coming up. We didn't have music theory. Yes, we did. We had debate teams in North Chicago. We have all this stuff. What you have to realize is we need more, not less.
Yeah, auto mechanics, we had home economics.
Yes,
and-
sir.
and
I loved.
stuff
I was
too.
in home economics.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't cook very well, but I was in typing.
You're exposed to
Yes,
it.
sir. I was exposed to it. So I was in French. Moi, je m'appelle Georges Genevieve. We had it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're talking with Charles Allen January Jr., former trustee, alderman, city of North Chicago, and a former candidate for the mayor of North Chicago and seeking change. We're very happy that you've taken time for your busy schedule to be with us, and we hope that we'll see you next week. We're going to have a part 2, not next week, but soon. This has been Community Forum. My name is Dr. Wardell Brooks Sr., your host.